Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to Tarnation TV this evening on Sunday, July the 27th. This evening we join the All-Star Racing League here at Talladega Superspeedway for the Sunday Night Superspeedway Series hosted by Brian Wolf at Fluid Studios and of course sponsored by Bryant Motorsports Auto Sales. My name is Blaine Donlin, joined by Rod Weston. Good evening, Rod.
Oh, we're back at it again. Another Talladega Nights track race. Surprising week last week. Guy that dominated ended up losing the transmission about halfway through and still led the most laps. And the guy that ran Red Pat come out true. That was Dennis McCarthy and ended up with a win. It was a great race to host last week. Looking forward to this week to see another great race.
Yeah, there's a lot of names that were able to make it in, a lot of names that weren't. So we'll talk about how the points sort of, there's some leapfrogging going on. And, McCarthy had a big win last week, which shot him up the charts. So, yeah, and that big wreck, Rodney Sullins was involved in. No, he wasn't. He lost. He had transmission failure.
Yeah, lost fourth gear. Probably, I would say around pretty close to lap 25 to 30 on a restart. He lost fourth gear and took him out of contention and out of the race, unfortunately. Yeah, and he still ended up leading the most laps that race, so he still got the bonus points for leading the most laps. But yeah, that fourth gear letting him down. The big wreck, actually, Paglia, I believe, was involved in that. No, Paglia got disconnected and never was. Let me get my notes here. Okay. You better get your point.
Sullins led 40 laps, had the transmission failure.
20 laps and transmission failure. He kept going for about 2 laps. Yeah. 2 laps after that, just to try to make sure that he could maybe salvage some points. But eventually, you're going around Talladega in third gear is no fun.
No, yeah, and it was Brian Rawson that had the engine failure because he got tossed up into the fence. And unfortunately, his night was over as well. But yeah, there was a few wrecks, not too many really big ones, but there was some catastrophic damage. Even though we run moderate, that stuff can happen, especially when the cars come off the ground. But yeah, it makes for exciting replays, that's for sure. But yeah, we had some points shuffling going on here. Let's bring up the points cards, show you guys what's going on here. Now I'll let that scroll for a little while.
That guy that runs the league, he's a points leader now, isn't he?
He is. He has been the last couple of weeks, actually. But even last week, he didn't finish. I think he got a top 10, but he was down there around 7th or 8th with the final. 9th. Was it 9th?
Yeah, he finished 9th. He led 1 lap.
So he's always going to lead the 1 lap. That's the thing. Like, because the point spread here is so tight, you got to get that lap in. You got to take that gamble early if you have an early yellow and hope that you can maybe get that lead in there, at least one. All those bonus points will count, especially in such a short season.
He kind of knew that he'd had a bullseye on his back because he won last week, but the prior week. But I don't think he just had some of the worst luck I've seen. He just could never seem to be in the right place at the right time and got tangled up in a few of those incidents that happened that not of his own doing. He just, like I said, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, but McCarthy was in the right place at the right time because he ended up jumping from 12th up to, let me see here. I have this in my notes. Before giving you fake numbers, I'll actually look this up. McCarthy was in 12th place overall going into race number 4, but this week going into race number 5 with his first place finish last week, he's now 5th. So he jumped from 12th to 5th place in points, as you'll see there on the chart scrolling. That's amazing. Also considering that there's only 1 point separating each position here too. That's a big deal. And of course, you've got people that can't make it into the race. You've got people that, he was able to win, so he finished in front of everyone. So you just get all these things sort of came together. So he got a nice little bump in the standing.
Just didn't get the bonus points for leading the most laps. That was because Rodney Sullins got all that. He led 17 laps, but not quite enough to beat Rodney Sullins' 20 laps led.
Yeah, and that's another thing. McCarthy is here tonight, and Sullins, I do not see him. Not yet. Anyway.
I haven't seen him yet out there.
Yeah. So that should be interesting. He still has about half an hour to get here before qualifying starts, maybe about 20 minutes, but we'll see what happens. But Brian Wolf running a tight league here. He's in the booth right now talking to us. So yeah, Brian, this is race number 5. We're halfway through this deal, and then it's a home stretch now.
All right, buddy guy.
I'm not your guy, buddy.
I'm not your buddy guy. How much fun is this going to be? Like you guys were just talking about the points to go from 12th to 5th for the win. You know what I mean? Those top 5s are critical. And that's kind of where, top 10s even. I finished, like you were saying, 9th, still have the points lead by 13. Now I have a hard feeling that is going to change and quick. 38 or 9 points separate the top 10. And with 40 points going to first place, I mean, those numbers are definitely going to change probably dramatically. We do have a little bit of a light field tonight. There's a couple ASR guys that are off doing family stuff. And they're not going to make it here. Dave Chin and Nelson Rodriguez, our 2 lead admin, are off doing other things tonight, had other commitments. So it's a good opportunity for some of these guys to grab up some points, because I mean, it's going to change fast, and tonight's a good opportunity to grab some points. I see a couple of them piling in here now. So I mean, it's going to get good, man. It's getting close.
Do you find like being at the top of the points overall, maybe like you don't have the same friends you do from week to week? Like maybe you pick the same people for the first couple of races, and they're like, well, this guy's, he's got the points lead. Like I'll leave him hanging or something. Like, do you find that sort of happens sometimes?
Oh yeah, you definitely, and Rod talked a lot about this last week. You got to have some buddies out here. You have to get you in position to have a shot at winning these races or finishing top 5. You know what I mean? You can't, it's just not something you do by yourself, especially when you've got other drivers, like you said, me being the points leader. These guys are not really gunning to help me at all. Yeah. You know what I mean? They want to be in front of me, not behind me this time. So it puts a little bit more pressure on me. And, we've got this league, or this series actually has drawn some of the biggest hitters at Superspeedway racing, and it's difficult to win here, man. It really is. But top 5s is where it's at with our points, with our scoring format being so close. It gives everybody a chance not only to win races but to win the championship.
One interesting note, while that the points were going through, you have no repeat winners this year. There's been all new winners, or not necessarily new, but no repeats. So, that'd be interesting to see if that trend continues on. It's very, very, I mean, anybody, all you got to do is start the race to win. And that's it, and just the luck falls your way. You can easily get out there and win one of these.
Yeah. And the whole goal for us really is to keep this fun and take the scoring and put the fun back in this sim. Before they started all this, stage racing and playoff things, you know what I mean? I think a lot of these guys really feel the same way I do, and wanted to get back to this old way of scoring when it was fun. And I mean, we don't carry a big, thick rule book here. I mean, everybody has experience at this format of racing, and they know the basic unwritten etiquette rules, as far as claiming your yellows and serving penalties and stuff like that. So, I mean, we do have a review committee in place, so that we can keep a safe, fun environment for everybody who comes here. And everybody's welcome to come and race with us, man. It's been fun. We are definitely talking about a season 2. We've got some really fun stuff planned for that, Blaine. So keep your Sundays open for me if you could.
No problem.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking about, getting some hardware for these guys that do well. Excuse me. We are about 7 minutes. Okay, we got 7 minutes to go till qualifying. I don't know if the engine sounds are coming through my headset or not, but because I'm not looking at the same screen you guys are.
Nope, you're good. It sounds perfect.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's we really felt like this series was a great idea as far as the scoring format, and like I said, we don't carry a big thick rule book. we do have the replay committee, or review guys, on deck for afterwards in case any penalties do get served or not served or whatever the case might be. And we basically, for this series here, all of our league rules apply, of course, as far as the flaming and calling each other out and blah, 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 blah. We want to hear too much whining and stuff like that, because the competition can really spill over and sometimes, get the better of us. But that's what makes it great. You know what I mean? The competition level is really what makes it great. And I think we've achieved that here. So off we go, man.
Yeah, it's fun to have the passion, especially because a lot of these guys have been playing this thing for so long. And you put a lot of hours into a thing like this. You get your wheels set up, you get your practice laps in, and you want to go out, you want to win, or you want to do good, you want to help your buddies win. And if everybody has a plan in their head. Not everybody wants to win. Of course you want to win, but you know what I mean? Like, maybe things change. It's like, okay, maybe I'm not going to win this race, but maybe I can help this guy win. And then something else happens, and it's like, if that's why we don't broadcast live TeamSpeak channel, because
right, yeah,
language can get pretty colorful. Like, we might do that on like on the Tarnation TV Turbo channel, because that's an alternate channel that we don't have really any rules on. But this is the professional broadcasting channel, so that we will never pipe in unannounced into the group chat, because sometimes it can get a little irie.
Yeah, and that's why I said, that's why we don't really carry a big, thick rule book yet anyway. So basically for this, all of our league rules apply, of course. But excuse me. But basically for this series, I'm kind of imposing just two rules. Rule number 1, come here, race, have fun, be competitive. And rule number 2, repeat rule number 1.
Yeah. See rule number 1 or rule number 2. That's a good way to do it. Yeah.
So we take these incidents, as they come to us. These guys know how to call their laps out in case something happens and a yellow don't come out, or things can happen during these races, and then they usually do. So we work it out. Try to right after the race is over, we work it out there right on the spot, and all of our calls are final, and there's no real protest thing or anything like that. You can come in and state your case right in. Everybody's welcome into the replay review room, afterwards. And so far we've had just a great, fun atmosphere here. It's really been good racing. The last 2 races were just, I think it's getting even better and better, man. So, and it's thanks to you guys too for adding this element to our hobby that makes it so much fun. And so, not just fun to do, but fun to watch afterwards too.
So rumor has it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Rod.
I just said thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Oh, of course. Yeah. This is always fun to be, and very cool to be considered to do what we do for you guys, because you have a lot of options. There's a lot of different, YouTube channels and broadcasting teams that do what we do, and the fact that you've shown interest in our product is, it's very flattering and it's awesome. So yeah, thank you very much.
Well, not only that, but Blaine, we want you to have free reign to try new things here too. We want to help you grow to be even better too. We're trying to grow ourselves as, having the product to give you guys. So, I know you were talking about some kind of a new style of a ticker and stuff like that. So yeah, you're paid, man. You have free reign to try, experiment with us and, and try your new things out right here during our live broadcasts. It's all on you, man.
Yeah. So rumor has it, if this season number 1 is successful, you've kind of been in touch with some track builders and people who can modify some things to maybe personalize this facility a little bit more in the Brian Wolf Super Series or Super Speedway Series on Sunday product.
Yeah, we have, actually, that is a true rumor. We do have a track under construction. I'm being whispered to. We've got about 3 minutes to go to qualify. That's fine. But yeah, we do have a track under construction. We don't have a due date or on that yet, but for season 2, if we're not quite ready for that, we're going to reach out to some other leagues to see if we can't perhaps borrow a track for the time being, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. We have a meeting coming up for our 7th week when we're off. So, and you guys, I would ask you to please excuse me tonight. I've been kind of under the weather this week. In fact, I have a couple of appointments tomorrow up in Cleveland regarding this aftermath of this surgery that I had last year. No great big deal, but if you see me kind of fade out tonight, that's why I got to be up in Cleveland tomorrow at 8:00.
Oh, right on there. Get in the car and start driving.
Yeah. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you to all the viewers if they're showing up to watch, and all these drivers, because these drivers really are our product. You know what I mean? And I'm proud of all these guys, especially these guys that come from other leagues. You know, like CCR and wherever it is they come from. They come from all over the place, and a lot of them have had perfect attendance so far, and they're really eager and enthusiastic about this. And I think we're going to grow this into a super product.
Yeah, man. So I guess it looks like you got to go handle the qualifying thing, and you guys will be doing a quick drivers meeting during happy hour, and then we're going green, I guess.
Yeah, let me jump out of here, man. Thanks, guys, for having me again. Blaine, I might check in with you from time to time. I apologize up front for if I interrupt you guys.
Go for it.
But if those guys they approached me last week and said, "Hey, man, we liked that when you pointed a couple things out to the,
yeah,
you know,
cool.
like Kelly's license plate, and then that pit stop that the 55 had was pretty incredible too." So
yeah, and you know,
so
66 laps is a long race, so any little things we might miss, yeah, definitely bring it up.
Yeah, I got you on whisper, so I might interrupt you. Depending on how my race goes, I might just come back in here and join you. But hopefully,
that works too.
Yeah, I don't want to just give up a points lead, but I'd rather lose it legit on the track. So I'm going to try my best out here tonight.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun race. Yeah, never hesitate to hit that whisper key. Just remember, like when you whisper, we can, it goes out on the broadcast, even though it's technically a whisper. It has to come through. So, yeah, we get to hear all of your secrets.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
So that way, if anybody's trying to cheat and listen to the broadcast and get Brian's fuel strategy, be live on the air. But, yeah, man, I guess you gotta go take care of your qualifying. Looks like we're about to do that right now, and then we'll get this thing underway.
Yep, they're going in about 10 seconds, 45 seconds. So thanks for having me, guys. If I don't see you afterwards, I will definitely see you next week. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, man. Good luck. Brian.
Well, good news is that was Brian Wolf. Good news is Rodney Sullins is in there. Bad news is I don't have his car, so I don't know if he came in the same car he had last week.
Oh, let me see here. If I've got the 38 on. 38 is... Nope. I do not. I have a generic 38.
Just imagine it as a Chevy Nova.
Just pretend it's something way cooler than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was one good, like you said, everybody starts the race with a, well-laid plan. And then the green flag drops, and that all changes.
Yeah.
Especially at Talladega.
I'll let the race chat right now know that the broadcast does not have number 38 car file. Joke's on you, Rodney, because he always got really cool car files.
He does. So that's a shame.
Yeah, we'll get to see the generic, the generic Aero 88 version of that model. But on screen right now, you've been staring at the rundown for this week. Obviously, the Talladega Superspeedway is the track with 66 laps in the Aero 88 mod. Moderate damage is fixed setup means everybody's running the same car setup. Even though damage is moderate, some pretty crazy things can always happen, like last week, Rodney losing fourth. Season information, last week's top three, Dennis McCarthy won the race. Danny Curl and John Godfrey round out the pole. Now, this is a fun one. The fastest pole so far this year in the first four races. Nate Balzer cut 52.432, and the slowest pole, he cut that, by the way, in race number 2. In race number 4 last week, the slowest pole was set at 52.471 by Rodney Sullins. Now, it's funny to say the slowest, but it's literally only 5/100ths of a second off of the other one. So, sorry,
Absolutely.
what is that? It's 100ths, right? 4 100ths in a bit, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Super tight.
Not that much slower. I mean,
No.
I can actually. Well, you say
One guy's
Yeah,
running a
that's what it is.
52.43 and the other guy's running a 52.47, but the guy who runs the 52.47 is the slowest guy.
it's crazy.
Yeah. And we got
That's
some
it.
people who know how to qualify at this track too. Like all these guys know how to change. Like right now, they're all changing their wheel settings in the game completely different from what they're going to race with because, you know, you just gain those extra hundredths and thousandths of a second that could come right down to a pole.
Yeah, and then I mean it's amazing what these guys are doing. The things that they've learned. You know, it's an older game, but the things that they've learned to tweak the wheels. Of course, we had a good conversation with Dennis McCarthy last week. He's running an old TSW, which there is really nothing much they can do. I mean, they can go in and he can change his linearity and a little bit of stuff like that, and that probably will help. But because I've tried it and I have seen gains in qualifying, but I still can't get the times that these guys get.
And you were saying too, that wheel doesn't even have force feedback.
So it's literally 2 springs.
Yeah, it's left to hold it kind of center, and then you just kind of steer it back and forth. Yeah. See, that's crazy to me because for me, I've always had, I think, my first wheel was a Wingman Formula Force. It's right in the name.
Yep.
And then I went to a Momo, and now I'm on like the G920, I think it's called. It's always been Logitech stuff for me. But
I've never raced. I've tried it. I've had a friend of mine that had the Momo, and I jumped in there one time and tried it with his settings and stuff, and I didn't like it. But I've never really raced a race with any type of force feedback.
yeah, see, and that for me, that would be so weird because sometimes my force feedback would become disabled for some reason. I just like reboot the wheel and it'll be fine. But it's for me, I end up getting like you've got the feel of the force feedback, you've got the visual that you're looking at in combination with that, and then you've got the sound of the tires on the track, and all three of those things combined, you can feel the car floating away from you sometimes. Take the force feedback away, and I don't know if I could even do it.
See, I've always done it that way. I don't know anything different because I've always done it that way. I hopped into my buddy's setup. The way he had it set up, I didn't really agree with. He had like a bit of a steering assistance, and so I was just kind of going through. It was out on Daytona or Talladega, something like that, and I was going through, and it was almost steering for me. You know what I mean? I was like, no, I don't like that. That's just the force feedback.
Right.
So what was the time that Rodney got last week? It was 52.470.
Let me check it here. I just had it right there. 52471.
Okay, so Greg Palmer just did a 52.470.
Wow. Okay. So literally 1/1000th faster than Sullins, which means Sullins is still the slowest. Right?
Not by much.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That's crazy. So, but yeah, and then Balser from race 2 is still the fastest with a .432. You know, it's wild how that changes from week to week.
The good thing, the top 3 from last week, they are all here tonight.
Yep.
McCarthy's going to be starting in the 12th position. Second place, Denny, where'd Denny go? I thought I saw him earlier. I don't see him in the qualifying time. But maybe Denny didn't make it tonight. Let me check.
Denny, I don't see him in TeamSpeak. I don't think he's here tonight.
No Denny. So that's different.
Mm-hmm.
John Godfrey, he is going to be starting 3rd tonight.
Yeah, and I've actually got it set to qualifying on the stats this time.
Interesting about John Godfrey, he didn't really qualify up front last week. I do give you exactly where. Where was John? He actually didn't qualify. He chose to start in the back. So he started back in the 20th position. And at one point, he got caught up in a little bit of a mix-up, got a lap down, got his lap back, and by using great strategy and some great racing, was able to bring himself up into the 3rd position.
See, it's crazy when you've got a 40 car field and then people opt to go to the back. that always boggles my mind because that's a slower pit entrance than everybody else, because you need to slow down if you're like the second, third, fourth, fifth stall in. You need to be below 55 mile an hour when you hit that line so you don't overshoot your pits. And here it doesn't matter because there's like 22 people. We're only filling up half of pit road. So yeah, you want to go to the back. You're still halfway down before you have to pit, right? But people still do it in a full field. They still want to be at the back,
Different type of strategies. You and I have had this conversation at Talladega and Daytona many, many a times. Where would you rather run? I'd rather not qualify and start in the back and just try to stay out of trouble and try to keep with that lead draft. And I'm pretty good at my pitting, so I usually stay with the people. And you prefer to run up front and stay up front and try to avoid the wrecks from up there.
Yeah, and then I usually end up floating around in the middle, and I like the high line too, which is funny because everything washes up the track if there's an accident. But yeah, I haven't raced at Talladega in a while.
They always say the safer way is to be at the bottom, because when stuff happens at first, it all goes to the top. But like you, I would much rather be running around on the top of the track.
It looks like Rodney has sent us
He has
car.
sent the car. Yeah, I was just going to tell you that.
I'm going to quickly see if I can toss that in there. We've got the 38 BRC Nova A88. And I've disconnected from the server. I will be back in there momentarily. Thanks again, of course, to our sponsors of Fluid Studios and Bryant Motorsports Auto Sales. That's super cool that they wanted to have us in here to do this, so we're always happy to do it. Thanks very much to Mr. Chin from Bryant Motorsports. And they are interested in a season 2, which is always kind of nice to hear. Get to put up with us for another season. I just installed that car file. It did not overwrite anything, so that makes sense. Green Flag Racing here tonight, race number 5.
And we have 8.
No playoffs, very simple. We just go to the last race. Whoever has the most points at the end of that one wins.
So we have his car. I do, at least.
Okay.
There looks like the same as last week's. The Nova, maybe some subtle changes to it. Knowing him, he does a really good job with it. He's an excellent painter.
Yeah, get my cameras fired back up here before we get to go.
I asked him to paint me up what we call a Jaeger bomb. Anybody out there that's done a Jaeger bomb will understand what that is. And I gave him, I didn't say do this. I just showed him something that I had painted. Kind of gave him an example. I said, this is what I did, but you do whatever you want to do. The thing was phenomenal.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of talented painters. Rodney Sullins being one of them. This community, so many people contribute to every angle of this thing. We got guys who paint tracks. We got guys who make tracks. We got guys who paint cars. We got teams that make mods. Somebody had to make this actual mod because these cars didn't ship with the original sim in 2003. It's just an endless community of talent from all angles. The guys who make the 3D models of what these cars look like, they might be the worst painters on the planet. That's why you have guys like Frank Divins, Rodney Sullins, Dr. Noise. All these guys are just amazing, And then I go and download Camera Pack from a guy named NR Clips, and I get different cameras on the tracks to set the broadcast apart from some of the other broadcasts. And it can be very, very customizable.
Some of the good painters can take a basic scheme and just make it look phenomenal. Mm-hmm. They just do a great job with it. Nothing's out of place. And then you get some of these guys, they just go, the same painter goes absolutely crazy with a paint scheme. And it just comes out great. Like I said, my Jaeger bomb car is phenomenal. It's such a nice looking car.
Just checking on the YouTube chat there.
We are just about to take the grid, Blaine.
Yeah, we started to get people in there. Yeah.
Okay, we got Brad Otto. Great night to race. Thanks, gents, for all the hard work in the booth. We always want to bring an exciting race, low drama to the track. So we do, man. I like the drama on the track, though. During the race, the drama's good. And after the race, everybody hopefully comes back and just does it again next week. Some of these guys have been racing with each other for years, and I'm sure they've become friends. And, you know, obviously you might hate a guy for the night, but, you know, the next week, get right back out there and do it again. Yeah.
Drivers, start.
So we were talking during happy hour there, but Greg Palmer's going to be on the pole. Right outside of him is going to be Mike Mangialardi. And then third, we're going to have John Godfrey, as we said that before. Last week's dominant car for a little while, Rodney Sullins, he is qualified into the fourth position. Ed Finley's going to start in fifth, that beautiful Pontiac Trans Am. We got Brad Otto and I jumped Chuck T in that nice, like the old Miller High Life kind of scheme. And then we have Brad Otto starting seventh. Ken Roberts is starting eighth. CCR's son of Mononic, Adam Simonic, isn't it?
Yep.
And the ninth position, and I'm going to butcher this guy's name, everybody. The 94 of Dale Selinsky.
I say Shalinsky, yep.
Yeah. Then Jax, last week's winner, Dennis McCarthy. The 6 of Brian Rosson. I like the way that card's subtle. Then
Very
Brian
cool.
Wolf, Mark Paglia, and rounding up the field tonight in the what I think is one of the best paint schemes out there, Kelly Kaza in the O Smoky unit, number 13.
Yep. Very simple. Gets the job done.
It's a nice looking car, though.
Yeah, so the Boudreaux's butt paste mobile and the number 22, the Deuces. 3G Greg Palmer leads these guys around on the parade lap to the green flag here, race number 5. Thanks everybody again for watching. Got a couple dozen people watching this thing. Like I said, it's always cool that Sunday evening is a very busy night in this community of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. So the fact that you're watching Tarnation TV, we love it. So thank you very much to all the drivers on the track and, you know, everybody watching on the YouTubes.
We always talk about how Randy Waugh and Denny Carroll, two drivers that are not here, always working together. I think you'll see Rodney Sullins and Greg Palmer, they'll probably get hooked up and work together too. So pace car is down pit road. Sweep around the tri-oval.
You always wonder how they're going to find each other, you know, but they always end up finding each other. So
absolutely.
Greg, I don't think they get rain choice on the parade lap, so he'll stay on the bottom.
He got a great launch, though. Him and John Godfrey on the bottom, then they got a really, really good launch.
That's the thing. The pace lap speed is 70 miles an hour. Pit road speed is 55 miles an hour. And as we move through the first couple of laps, they'll get up around 200 in the draft.
They will be sailing it pretty good. So
yeah.
they got them lined up one by about 3 or 4 cars lined up in a single line right there. Ed Finley's going to try to come down to the bottom to see what he can do. Now, see, it's easy to people will do that right at the beginning. They want to try to get as much of an advantage as they can. And once these things get up to speed, it gets a little harder without help. So sometimes you get a good run. You try to see if you can do something with it, but it's not like it doesn't seem like it's really going too far. So he's going to pull back up and behind the Rodney Sullins car there and just kind of ride for a little bit, see if he can't get himself some more momentum and maybe work his way towards the front. They want to get up there and lead that lap.
I just did a quick Google. If you're going 200 miles an hour, how long would it take you to drive from New York City to Orlando, Florida? 5 hours and 50 minutes.
200 miles an hour?
Yep. Just put that in perspective, because, you know, if we went to Disney World from here, we'd end up taking, you know, takes 22 hours, I think, to drive from Kingston to Disney World.
Where you are?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
we go the speed limit. You
Right.
don't do 200 miles an hour, but you could get there in less than 6 hours if you did.
This is true.
Yep. This is what these guys are doing right now, but they do it around in a circle. Sorry, a circle that's shaped like a D. So
Bubba J would say they're making a left turn.
yeah, that's what people say. They're always chirping NASCAR for making only like left turns. Well, then go watch something else then. We'll come into your sport and, try to make fun of that. Finley to the outside.
I was just going to say he couldn't make it work on the bottom, so he see a line forming on the outside, so he decided to pull up there and see if he can't get up in front of them and use their momentum to maybe get himself up near that front.
Yeah, Simonic, Jackson, Otto are with him, followed by Roberts and Rawson. As I bounce my head off the microphone.
As long as they don't knock you out, we're good.
Yep. Yeah, Paglia back in here tonight. He had a disconnection last week, which is always how cool how the game will report a disconnected, like an internet connection failure. Instead of just putting like disconnected or discon, it goes disco.
Yep.
So if you ever see a car with disco next to it in your export stats, it just means they got disconnected. Rodney's sort of sitting in the middle there because he's looking in his review mirror on both sides. He's got two lines coming. Looks like they want to split them. Oh, they tuck back
as we
in
know
behind.
from this track, as we know that middle line is pretty much the preferred line. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't pass on the bottom. It's a little harder to pass on the top. You just got to get a lot more cars than what they have in that line to be able to do that.
McCarthy's been consistently ducking down there, though, taking a look. Like, we're still here.
Yeah, but I think if somebody were to go with him, you know what I mean, he probably would go. But
yeah, the line behind's not as tight as you want it to be.
They're running a nice tight line. That's going to get him, the best speed. It wouldn't take nothing if he were to drop down there and nobody went with him. Before you know it, he would drop to the back just like that, quick. Yeah. So you got to be careful about when you pull out and when you try to go. You got to make sure that the people behind you are going to go with you.
And those front 4 or 5 right there, you got Chuck T, you got Rodney Sullins, Mike Mangialardi, John Godfrey, and Greg Palmer. They are stuck together like glue right now. It's going to be hard to catch those guys. Unless you can come up with the same setup. Just nose to tail, stay in line, go. Yeah.
The only way you're going to do it, unless you got friends. Take those top four drivers are some of the better super speedway racers out there. So, not taking anything away from anybody behind them. Just these guys have run, in many different leagues and run, Talladega Nights used to always run just Talladega Nights, and that's so they're used to running this style of track and running well together and know exactly what to do, and they're keeping themselves out in front of the rest of the field.
So I'm curious, it's this fixed setup tonight, so everybody runs the same garage setup. If you ran open set at a Talladega Super Speedway, what's really done differently to kind of be up front the whole time? Like, you can't push too much tape because the thing will overheat. I'm curious if there's any way. I find that an open setup you can really dominate on an open setup at like a smaller track.
Yep. What happens here is a lot of it's in gearing. So if you're, we'll say, Greg Palmer in this thing here, you're going to run a little bit higher gear. I think it's higher gear. I could be wrong. Maybe a little lower gear. Like if you're going to run up front, and then to behind them, you can run a little different gear, a better pushing gear. So then the other part of it's most of the time you'll find at most open setups, everybody's pretty much running a very, very similar setup. Where the differences will come into play is a little bit of the gearing, a little bit of the air pressures, because some people will run 60 pounds of air all the way around. Some other people will run a little less on the left side to try to get it to turn a little better. But for the most part, your caster and your camber and all that stuff, they don't make too many changes. Other thing too is shocks. Shocks can make all the difference in the world, and it just depends on your style of driving. How, I find coming off most of these fixed setups coming off of turn 2 to be a little bit tight. So I would change my shocks so that it would be a little bit looser off from turn 2. Other people wouldn't. It just all depends on individual driving style. But there are a lot of subtleties that you can do that'll help you out.
But I mean, if you make a camber adjustment or a shock adjustment, you can't change that in the pits.
Nope.
You're locked in for the race with that. So, I mean, you can do the mini adjustments, like you said, the pressures, the tape, the track, the wedge. Yep. A little bit of a stack there, but they're going to figure it out.
But at the super speedway is really the only thing that's going to make too much of a difference is their tape. Wedge maybe, but like I said, everybody runs pretty much similar. Looks like Kelly Kaza's trying to make a change down at the bottom. Whoa, down under the yellow line there, got onto the apron a little bit. That got him a little squirrely.
Yeah.
While we were watching that, John Godfrey snuck up on the high side.
Yeah, there was a pretty good bump back there that kind of split that shook that up a little bit, and Kazi had to go to the bottom. We're going to go to spectator cam here. This is a great the super speedway. The back straightaway here is awesome to see these cars pull forward on the bump draft.
You've got the 4 cars in the middle now. Only 4 cars there. You've got a lot more cars on the high side. So they're trying to get an advantage of going. Plus, you've got Brian Wolf now with Kelly Kaza, Ken Roberts, Brian Rosson, and Dale, and I'm going to Selinsky, I say it right?
Shalinsky, yes. S-C-H, yeah.
On the bottom down there with them, so that bottom side's starting to prevail. Although Greg Palmer saw the momentum coming on the bottom, dropped right down in front of Brian Wolf.
Yeah, see, so that middle lane being the dominant lane, now you've got only, 3 guys in that lane.
Yeah.
It is fun to watch this right now because that top line isn't flying by them as quickly as you'd think because this track is different. This is TR. This is Talladega TR, not Talladega Nights, not BSR. They wanted to run BSR, which I believe is where Talladega Nights got theirs from. The track settings are a little bit different where that high line with 6 cars in it would have just trucked by everybody. They still made the pass, but it seemed to take a little longer than it would on a different version.
Yes, and now Kelly Kaza's got some, he moved up from that bottom line into the middle line and picked up those cars that were kind of bogged out there, and he's gotten himself moved out to the front.
Now it looks like Sullen's got pushed out of line there a little bit, but it looks like the 016 is going to pick him up.
I applaud the guys for trying to get that third line to run. It's you got to have so many more cars, and you got to run a nice, as we saw the top 4 early in the run, they were running nice and tight and right to each other, giving each other little pushes down the straightaways. You got to do that to be able to get that high line to work on this track.
So Kazi now leads his second lap, the new race leader. And that 13 being pushed by Roberts, Rawson, Godfrey behind him, and Greg Palmer. Now Roberts to the bottom.
And it's funny, we're now on lap 13, and the
13.
last place car is 1.18 seconds behind. They're all in one big group.
And the 13 led lap 13, or might lead lap 13. He led going into lap 13, but will he lead the end of lap 13? We're going to see.
I remember these are on 2X pits.
Yep. So it'll be around 20-ish.
We're looking around about 5 to 6 laps. You might see Greg Palmer get out there a little bit earlier, maybe just because he led for so long, but that lap was led by Ken Roberts. So
another lead change. So we've already had 4 leaders today. That being Greg Palmer, John Godfrey, Kelly Kazi, and of course Ken Roberts right now.
See that bottom line, how tight they are running. It's going to make it hard to beat. But like we said, the middle line is a bit, more preferred line. They just got to get a little bit tighter together to be able to come back up on that middle.
Sometimes when you get, I'm looking at those 2 cars at the back there of Otto, I think it's Otto and Jack's back there.
Yep.
They're still in the draft, but I know what it feels like being back there. It's just like you're staring at the taillights of that car in front of you.
Yeah.
And you're trying to hold on, oh man, I'm still in the draft, but oh man, I'm gonna, you want them to start racing a little bit more so you can catch up.
That's how you'd see me run this race. I'd be back there with them guys, back there with Otto, just hanging on and making sure that, I see smoke or I see cars starting to become, race car drivers all of a sudden becoming pilots. You want to make sure that you make it through there.
Yep.
Though they're doing a really good job of running 3 wide for sure.
They are,
The
yeah.
outside groove, as I said before, you've got Greg Palmer, Rodney Sellens. You're going to get those guys working together. They work really, really well together. We've seen them in the truck races, where they weren't even in the points, but one of their drivers was. So I remember it was Greg Palmer, Rodney Sellens, and I believe Mark Paglia were trying to help out another truck driver. And, they just ran out front and they kept pushing him up to, made sure that he was the lead truck. And that was back when you had the, stage racing and kind of the, only 4 drivers going for the championship, whoever beats who. Kind of racing I don't like. I like points racing.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 wide here. It's holding.
It's actually pretty cool.
You can hold it. I mean, this track is, you can hold 3 wide.
Oh, this track's wide enough for 5 wide.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's wide enough. Now, can you do 5 wide around here?
No.
You've got to have some talented drivers to do that.
Yeah, I've seen 4 done before, but 5 would be tough.
Even though with great drivers and everything, you still have the issue of just sometimes get a little bit of internet latency. And see Kelly Casa's got that bottom line just working great. Everybody's trying to get to that middle or high or get back up there. I see Greg Palmer and Rodney Sellens. They want to try to get back up to that front.
See, if you were going to go 5 wide, front straight would be the best way to do it, I think.
Yeah, the backstretch is a little bit narrower. Is the best way to put it. I mean, it's still capable of doing 5 wide, but it's a little more. I think more room on the front stretch and to the tri-oval.
Looking at pit stops coming up, Blaine.
Roger that, Bryant. Brian Wolf just hollering at us now. I was just going to say pit stops in the next couple of laps, and then Brian came on the microphone and said that. So now you're going to see them all sort of find their way down.
They just started to do that. Most of the drivers that were way up high backed off a little bit, got themselves tucked into that bottom line. I think you'll see some of the drivers, they're just getting ready to. The drivers that have been in the back kind of not really pushing the issue. They may be able to go, 1 lap more because they've been able to save a little bit of fuel. You can save enough to gain, do 1 more lap around here. It just depending on how the people are around you. If there's a lot of single file driving like they are doing now, and it kind of accordions back, you end up having to lift a little bit more, and you end up saving a lot more fuel that way.
Right. But they're all giving each other lots of space here now, so they're probably calling out the strategy. I'm expecting some guys to go here. I had to readjust that pit lane camera.
Palmer's pitting. Let's see. Mangialardi's pitting, and Mark Harvey's going to pit. Oh, Greg. We got
John going around.
John Godfrey got tagged going in.
Pits are closed. You can see some guys dodge back out to the track.
They got stuck on there. Unfortunately, what that does for them is it'll end up putting them at the end of the longest line.
Yeah, and sometimes like right now in the point of the race where you're going into lap 20, you might be forced to pit. Some of these guys aren't going to pit, actually. They're going to drive straight through so they don't get the penalty.
I think it doesn't matter either way. You're already there. And I think as long as you were on pit road and moving, I think they consider that end of the longest line, but we'll see how that. It's been a couple of days since I've been on my field, so.
I think if you enter a closed pit, I'm pretty sure you're okay. If you don't get service, you're allowed to drive through. But sometimes at this point of the race, you have to, because you just have to. You're going to run out of gas.
Right.
We'll back this up here.
Just doing that myself.
See if we can find the point of impact. This replay is sponsored in part by Bryant Motorsports Auto Sale. Let's see who it was here. Yeah, it looks like the 7-11.
Brian Rosson just got in a little bit hotter than John Godfrey did. Nothing intentional. He just, he got in there a little bit hotter. John started to kind of lift a little bit and just barely tagged the back of him. He did hit the wall, but I don't think he hit it that hard, so I don't think he'll have too much damage.
Yeah, and that brings out the yellow only because he's in the racing line. However, like you said, not a huge impact.
Fortunate it's
John
going to
should be
move
okay.
him from being up near the front to the back, but we've seen him work his way up through there last week. So
Do you want to grab John, bring him down here, and see?
we can do that if he's able to.
Maybe just let him. Maybe let him get into his pit stall first. Okay, there he's in his pits. If you want to grab him now. John Godfrey live on the air, buddy. Much damage to that thing? Didn't look too bad.
No, just my pride, Blaine.
What's the strategy then? I mean, it's pretty tight going down there under green flag conditions. So there's nothing you can really do. It's so tight, right?
Yeah, it was. We were pretty much 3 wide and going at different temperatures, shall we say. Somebody was a little hotter than I was. So we'll bolt on for new Goodyears and go at it again.
Right on. Rod, you got anything to say to Mr. Godfrey?
All I got to say, buddy, is go get him.
Thanks, Rod. Thanks, Blaine.
Hey, have good luck, man.
Thanks, John. Good luck. So the 7-Eleven looks like it's in good condition.
Now I'm trying to figure out who got out first, and I thought it was going to be Brian Wolf. They've let Rodney Sullivan's up there, so it must be. See the exit of pits there. Let me see what happened there.
Okay, yeah, we're going to go replay on. So you're watching the end of lap. Let me see here. What's this? End of lap 21.
So that also could be. He might have been the first one. May have been like the first one off pit road that didn't have an end along this line penalty or something.
Right. Yeah, we might have to watch this play out here because of the closed pit. The red flag at pit road comes out at the same time the yellow does, and a bunch of drivers had to get service. So I'm curious now. Once this plays out, yeah, it's scoring me right now. Wolf in first, 38 in first now.
Right. He went by the whole field and got back up near the front. So I don't know, Brian was probably one of the ones that was on pit road. Trying to see where Brian is.
Currently, I'm showing the 29th and 13th spot.
Okay, so the 2 drivers so far that I know of that have got it are Ken Roberts and Brian Wolf. So yes, that's what we were seeing. Is he got in and out of the pits, but being that he entered a closed pit, he is going to require to go to the end of the longest line.
Right.
So that's just because them 2 posted that they had to go there. I think was it Brad, Otto, and maybe Jax that also pitted with them.
Yeah, see, I was showing the 034 of CCR Jax in second last time by, but they're getting everything sorted out right now on the track, and it looks like he's no longer second. And they can hear the pit crew in their helmet telling them where they need to be, so they just have to follow the rules, and you need to be behind the 55 car on the inside line.
Yeah, so Jax is on his way back.
To the very back, yeah.
Yeah, and he might have got, when he regularly pitted, he might also got a speeding penalty or something like that. Because if you concur a penalty on pit road, speeding, that gives you the same thing. Under yellow flag conditions, it gives you the end of the longest line.
Right.
Green flag conditions, it gives you a nice little drive through. It really kind of messes up your whole day.
Green flag penalties are horrible. At least under yellow, you can get away with that, and they just put you at the back.
So as of right now, it looks like our leader is going to be Rodney Sullins with Greg Palmer right behind him. I'd be interested to see what kind of strategy they use We've seen them before do some stuff. So my possibility is that Palmer may not get the greatest start of his life, and that might open the door up for Rodney Sullins to either come up in front of him, or it could go the other way around, where Rodney doesn't get the great start and Palmer can drop down in front of him.
Sometimes that's on purpose when they're teammates, because they get lane choice, but depending where you want to go, we've seen these guys in many different leagues work together. So the fact that they're beside each other right now, I think your first guess where the 22 maybe holds the line a little bit, holds that top line back just like a quarter second, and allow the 38 to slide up. That might be the plan, because Causey and Godfrey and Chuck T are up there as well.
Yeah, but Palmer hasn't been here for the last few weeks. He has made a few of the races this year, but he hasn't committed to all of them. So, if he's going to be working with Rodney Sullins, to me, that would make more sense to allow Rodney to get up in front of him. And they can always battle it out later, but get Rodney up there, get him some points.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see where Rodney is. He is 13th in points. And he has 4 starts. So, yeah. He's been through every race.
Make sure to join us here next Sunday, race number 6, August the 3rd, right here at ASR. Our coverage of the Superspeedway series here on Sundays, hosted by Brian Wolf and his group of administrators, continues as we near the end of season 1.
Hopefully I'll be here. We'll see how we got a race next Sunday, so we'll see how that works out.
Yep. Lap 24 is about to start, and the pace car is out of the way.
Look
at that.
I think we called it.
Looks like we might have.
Pull right up there into that line.
Yep. Nice and smooth. Gee, you'd think they've done that before.
I've seen them do it.
Yep.
Although that auto on the bottom, Finley.
I was gonna say.
That's like I said, you got to go when because they're only up to just getting up to 180 miles an hour. Next time they go by here, they'll be almost 200 miles an hour. So they're not really up to full speed yet. They try to see with that little momentum they've got. Maybe they got a better start. And you can see that it's not working very well for them just because everybody went to that middle. They've only got 3 cars on the bottom.
Yeah, there's nowhere for Otto, Finley, and Shalinsky to go. Really, that middle line is occupied. Chuck T in there.
They're going to go and work your way to the back a little bit. Right around there for a minute, and then they'll work out. Although Jax is trying to see what he can do on that high side.
He's got a group. He's got a good group up there too.
Yeah. Roberts, Brian Rosson.
Chuck T changed his mind and changed his mind again. Maybe he's trying to wave those guys in. He's like, "Hey guys, just come down at the middle. It's really neat down here." Not
going to make up any headway.
Yeah, like you were mentioning before, too, we have not had a repeat winner here in the first 4 races. We've had Paglia, Moe, Wolf, and McCarthy all win races here in the first 4.
Brian Wolf got a wicked run.
He did.
He was on that high side, and he dropped down to the middle and got a wicked run on Chuck T. Hasn't cleared him yet, so now all of a sudden you're going to see that run just die right out.
Yeah, well, that's where he had to go, though. Either that or you put the brakes on. Who wants to do that?
But he was able to get back up behind Chuck T, so.
Jack's committed to the outside lane there with Roberts, Rawson, McCarthy. Shalinsky's up there, too. They're in the back, though, Shalinsky.
Paglia
and Paglia,
Paglia he's a good super speedway racer, too, but like I said, it's a little bit harder in that third groove. Chuck T keeps dropping down to the bottom, which is killing him because he's not getting any drafting help in front of him through the middle of the corners, and that's kind of slowed him down a little bit. He got a little bit more of a run there, but
Yeah, because where he is, he's surrounded by draft. So
Yeah.
but you're not making any. He's just trying to find a spot.
Could be looking ahead just to see what they're doing up there.
Yeah, they won't be doing much. They'll be towing the line, as they say, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're staying nose to tail and just going.
He's getting a really good run off of 2 doing that, and not so much of a good run off from 4 or 3 doing that. I should say off of 1. 1, 2. I keep, some people say there's 6 corners.
Nah.
I say there's 3.
Yeah. So what do you think? One more stop? Or are they going to have to do a short one at the end, maybe? Depends on green flag conditions.
It came out about with 22, 23 laps. So I think they got 2 stops. They got 2 more stops.
Yeah.
Maybe only just a splash and go.
Right. That's the last one will be a short one because they'll be
Depends,
almost
too.
there.
Somebody that's like Paglia, Otto, even Brian McCarthy, where they're running, they could be saving a little bit of fuel. And if they've got somebody with them, maybe 1 or 2 cars that'll do it with them, they can go a few extra laps. They might be able to do it. I doubt it. Just a long ways to go when you can only go roughly about 19 laps.
Yeah.
Oh, he's smoking. Oh no, that is a big one.
I would say that was. Yep. There's a lot of cars involved in that deal. It happened right in the front row. All that talk about how many stops and blah blah blah, and that's out the window now because we're under yellow.
Looked kind of to me like a bump draft gone wrong. Mangialardi just was trying to push Greg Palmer. I think Palmer moved in about a little bit to the right at the time, and it kind of hooked him.
It actually looked like it might have been a hard bump on the 7-Eleven that actually pushed him down and squeezed Palmer at that same time too. A combination of both.
I kind of just went to look at the impact of the car spinning, but yeah, it could have been more of an accordion effect.
7-Eleven slipped up the nose of Jack's there.
That puts last week's dominant car in the early going. Rodney Sullivan's out front. Mangialardi made it through that okay. He's going to be in second. And then Kelly Kozlow's going to be third. Greg Palmer is going to be...
Oh, Brad Otto almost got through it. He almost got through it. He just got tagged at the last second. Let's watch this from Otto's perspective here. He got through all that and just got tapped in the back.
Oh, yeah.
On his way out. The last car that he was about to clear just...
Everybody up front, except for Mangialardi.
Look at this. Nothing made contact. Anywhere here, nothing made contact except for that right there. So what actually got him? I think it was Simonic upside down. He actually got around that Simonic. And he was cranking that thing to the left. And Simonic just bumped him just a little bit. No damage, though. I mean, it's moderate damage. That's not going to cause any damage. That was pretty awesome driving.
Slows that forward momentum down a bit.
It did. It damages your speed.
To see if Mangialardi elected to stay out to lead that lap. He did lead the lap.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting to see if he... Jax seemed to had stayed out as well. I think he pitted. The first one down pit road was Rodney Sullins. A few people that didn't pit that time by.
I love that cockpit view because some of these guys actually drive in the cockpit view while they're racing, and that is the exact same view that they see. So there's really 70% of that screen real estate is taken up by the interior of the car. So you see smoke. You know, if Otto drives in cockpit, that's all he saw, and that was great. Great driving to get through that.
I drive in cockpit all except for the super speedways. You get with the Talladega Nights guys, they got me on the roof, and you can actually see a little better. So Simonek's cars,
online
Simonek's
I
cars
roof
are
all
beat
day.
up. Simonek's car's a little beat up in the back end, but of course he was pirouetting on his roof for a while. So
He was, yeah.
curious to see. I think, yeah, looks like Mangialardi's and Jax are going to come down pit road. Brian Rosson's going to come with them. Dennis McCarthy.
Simonek's going to
Simonek.
go too, yep. We're just checking out the damage on the Simonek mobile there, and you can see the back.
Ken Robert. And Chuck T. Shinsky's back of his is really beat up. To be able to
On
continue,
Shinsky?
but it's, yeah, that thing's beat up pretty bad in the back.
Oh, wow, yeah, it is. That's way worse than the Simonek damage. They might actually, you think they might actually take that trunk lid off?
Oh, the back of the car will probably come off for sure.
Yeah. Well, we can watch. We'll sit right here on the wall like a little... Oh. Was that a fuel? That's a
He
fuel
might have
stop.
done fuel, and he might have said, I don't care. Just give me some fuel and let me go. Don't fix it.
Yeah, you know what? Leave it on there.
Yeah.
He can knock that off later. That might be part of his James Bond strategy where he can start throwing parts at other cars.
I had that happen. I forget what driver it was, and he won a race, and it's mysteriously his back cover fell off.
Like, oh, where'd that wrench come from? We got Brad watching in the YouTube chat. Good evening. Evening? He's 3 hours behind us. Yeah, it's dinner time.
It's evening here.
Yep.
Looking out the window at darkness.
Yeah, he's on the West Coast, so.
Ah.
Brian Wolf to the front. Rod Auto only has one pit stop, and he is still out there running in second place. I wonder here now, because those two, we've only gone halfway through the fuel run. Do you think Otto stays out?
He might. He might think it's a safer position to be in. The only downside to this, see, we're going to see from Rodney Sullins.
Yeah, he's going with
So now-
everybody else.
See, now what people are doing is now it's getting close on that strategy to where we've got what?
Oh, you're right.
Going to have about maybe 30. Yeah. They're gonna have probably 34 laps to go. They're thinking
Plus yellow flag, you get a little bit more mileage out of that tank. And if there's another yellow, you will be able to make it to the end if you pit now.
unfortunately John Godfrey has retired. It's kind of a strange thing. Sullins pitted at the very first pit stall, which is not his pit stall. Stopped for a minute. He had to adjust something or do something, and he's back in the car.
Yeah, see, so Godfrey retired. He was involved in the wreck. Yikes. But then he just retired that last lap.
Did he get more damage in that last wreck that we had?
Yeah, he was right in it.
Probably got some more damage than he really needed.
Yeah,
And it was going to
maybe.
be fixable. I mean, it might have worked, but you know you're going to be riding around by yourself all night.
Yeah. And he went all the way around back to his pit and then retired in the pit stall. So Lights
keeping an
are
eye on
off.
Sullins. He just got pulled up to the back of the pack there. Interesting to see what he takes for a charge to the front.
Now, Ed Finley in first place in that black 80 car with lane choice. Looks like he's gonna. Looks like he's speeding a little bit.
Yeah. Got a little more, too much of a jump on that, but
Yeah, I don't know. If he passes the pace car, green is up. They didn't hold it. Sometimes they'll hold it. They'll put the yellow back out again.
problem with that is he's gotten out so far. Once they get up to speed, they're going to run him right down and probably drive right by him.
Yeah.
Unless they elect to just stay behind him.
Yep. I was just going to say that. You know, you get too far out in front, they're going to slingshot you. 2 or 3 cars will just drive right around you. Or we're still going slow enough. There could be a pretty good bump draft. Looks like he's up to speed though. Looks like we're going to be all right. Followed by Mangialardi and Shalinsky. All these cars are on the lead lap.
Slinsky's cars don't look too bad for the amount of damage he has on the back of it.
Yeah, right now, I'm focused on him right now. He's doing 192 mile an hour. He's got the draft in front and behind.
Sometimes damage like that won't hurt you in the draft, but once you try to, pull out and get into that clean air, sometimes it becomes a parachute. So
that's true. Yeah, he knows the damage he's got, so he might be better off just kind of staying in that mix, like you could retire, get last, or you could run just in the middle of this pack and end up with like a 5th place position. That's a definite win in my book with the amount of damage on the back of that car.
Jax does not like to sit there and follow. He pulled to that high side. He's been trying to make that high side work most of the night.
And now it's up to Finley to just pick, what line he wants to pull.
Oh no! Oh, what a save by Ken Roberts!
Yes, sir.
That was a bump draft kind of gone wrong.
And the assist by Sullins to give him a little push to get him back up to speed there. That's the same bump draft that sort of happened that caused that last yellow. The car just sort of squirts out in one way or the other, like for some weird reason they get the shimmy going.
Finley just gave Mangialardi enough room, and he was able to get up through that middle. Kind of see Greg Palmer way back there a little bit. I don't know if he got somehow something that happened there with him with Ken Roberts got him out of the draft, or whether he's got damage. He is, way back. He's only doing about 177 miles an hour by himself. So.
Okay. Just replay right now, watching the move the Mangialardi made. Brian Wolf went with him. And they just walked by Finley. Oh, they're stacking up back there. Otto down in the dirt.
I'll tell you, that was some driving right there.
Yeah.
Had something happening. I don't know if somebody got into a bump draft gone wrong or what happened. But I see Brian Son bouncing around a little bit. I see Ken Roberts bouncing
going
around.
To the pits. Roberts going to the pits.
Where's he? He's 8th in points. So
yeah. Something happened to Roberts. Maybe something failed. But was he the cause of that little tussle? I don't think he was.
I'm not sure. It felt low as he was.
No, not really. It was just, like you said, it was just a series of bump drafts that sort of just dominoed through the field there.
Yeah, look, the yellow flag just came out, and as I come to Dennis McCarthy, he was stopped at the bottom of the... Oh, no.
I'm going to back it up and see what happened. Shalinsky down there with more damage.
Yeah, it was... I'm not really sure. I'm watching it again.
McCarthy was definitely involved.
Yeah, so what happened was McCarthy had such a run, and he tried to pull down below Shalinsky, and just think he misjudged it a little bit, or maybe Slimsy came down a little bit. I just not gonna suggest that that something like that, but they had a little contact, and a few of them went around.
Yeah, it bobbled left and right. That was the issue. Oh man, that's a hard front impact on that 024. Oh, last week's winner. We were saying he went from 12th position up to 5th with that win last week, but that hit right there, that might be the end of the day for that thing. Holy moly.
That thing went for a wild ride.
Yeah, we'll watch it from the cockpit. It's too bad we don't have a G-force meter in this car. This thing just steers, boom. Wow, dude. The noise that it made. Is it still running?
Still running.
It's still running. He might have put the clutch in to prevent shattering the transmission. I don't know if that would help, but the noise that thing made when it hit the wall was weird. That was crazy. I've never actually heard that before. Listen to this.
Being that thing is, he's in the points, he's got to keep it going.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Now we're going to be about 46 laps.
No, he's got bad front end damage on that. Yeah, for moderate damage to flatten the nose like that, that was a hard hit.
I think he was trying to see if he could lead a lap, but what was that? Bryant,
you want to pull McCarthy? You want to pull McCarthy down here and see how he's feeling after that impact?
We can do that. And this McCarthy got Rod and Blaine up the roof. How's your neck after that impact?
Hey, you ain't kidding, buddy.
Jeez,
That was a hard
The
hit.
fiberglass roof isn't doing me well here.
The noise
Got
that
some
thing
engine
made
trouble
when it
now.
hit the wall, I was going to say the noise it made when it hit the wall was wild. We're watching it in the replay, and it crunched in that front end. So, yeah, you definitely don't have full RPM, eh?
Absolutely. Now, we had some damaged cars out here. I get they're trying to stay in the draft, but force their way in front of you.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a hook shot there, and it ended badly for you, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's all right. Try to just get a good finish here. Like,
Figured
Yeah,
you'd
man.
keep going.
what you guys doing tonight?
We're having fun. Always fun watching. I always have fun calling races when it's Talladega. I'd rather be up here than down there.
Hey, we had a great start.
Yeah, you did. You're running really, really good.
Yeah, man. Well, hopefully the rest of this thing, hopefully you can, I mean, I don't know if they can fix that damage, but, hopefully you're able to finish this thing.
See if I can lead a lap here and get the point.
Right on, dude. Well, we'll let you get back at it, and, yeah, good luck the rest of this race, if you can make it.
Thank you, fellas. Blaine, Rod, really appreciate it.
Sure. Good luck, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, that was a hard hit. He's doing the smart thing. He's going to stay out there. He's going to lead a lap, get himself a lap lead. And then once he does that, he can go in and get the thing fixed up. And then hopefully, maybe it'll get it fixed up enough so where he can be at least somewhat competitive in the draft. But if it isn't, still he's going to make some points up here right now. Just led that lap. Now he'll come down and get that thing fixed up and see if he can finish tonight's race. That's going to put Mike Mangialardi and Mark Paglia. We haven't seen Pags up near the front most of the night. It's been kind of in the middle of the pack a little bit, kind of running near the back, just staying out of trouble. Kelly Kaza, Rodney Sullins, Ed Finley, who's been running up there leading a few laps. And then I think that is Jax right behind him.
We've had 3 yellow flags tonight, but they have been pretty big deals, because there's some serious damage now to the, last week's winner there, McCarthy, and a few other cars. And, these guys are going to want to try their best to stay out there and finish this thing as high as they can. But then you become an obstacle, and that's bad too. So, this changes the dynamic of how this thing's going to end.
So we have 4 drivers that have retired out of the race.
Yep.
John Godfrey, obviously, earlier. Simonic had pretty bad damage, and I think it was hurting him. Greg Palmer, where we lost out, he had a wheel issue. So I'm not sure what happened, but he must have had something go on where he probably just didn't have the speed to keep up. And then Dale Slinsky just was part of that last wreck. He has retired as well.
Here's a neat stat that I pulled out of the stats. There's only 4 of the 28 drivers that have raced in this series so far this season that have completed all of 264 laps, which is 702 miles, that we've run in the first 4 races. And that's Wolf, Simonic, Chuck T, and Mangialardi. So only 4 of the 28 people have started in this series, but only 4 of them have run all of the laps.
That's pretty good.
So
4
Chuck T
drivers.
is still on the lead lap. Brian Wolf is still on the lead lap. Is Simonic
Out.
is out, so he's off that list. And Mangialardi is still on the lead lap. So that now, as of right now anyway, that's down to 3 of those guys.
Simonic was involved in that earlier one, and he was the one that was upside down when he hit Brad Otto and spun him out.
Yes.
So that car was pretty beat up, and it really, he was struggling to kind of stay with the draft. So
yeah, when you get up into the fence like that, you need help getting up there, and then it'll take care of you and then spit you back out on the other end. Getting away from an accident like that with minimal damage is very rare, even with moderate setting.
looking to see where he was in points.
Who was that?
Sixth.
Solonic? He was in 6th.
6th in points.
With 108, yeah. 28 away from the leader, which would be Brian Wolf. And has started all the races, so.
They're beating the heck out of McCarthy's car because they're on the backstretch getting ready to go green. He's still on pit road. He's got his tires all changed and everything. They can hear the hammers banging, the saws going off. So they'll get him back out there, but he's got some serious damage to fix.
Yeah, he's just left his pit stall now. And you do have the ability to stop repairs.
Yep.
You know, they might have still been fixing that car, but he can click the space bar and they'll put the hammers away and let him go. And he won't have enough time to get back around to the tail end of the field before they get rolling. Even if he could, I don't think he'd be competitive just because of that front end. That was a 100% front end impact.
Hard hit. Angelardi's in the lead, Ed Finley on the outside. You've got Jax back there in the 3rd spot, Brian Wolf, Brad Otto, and Rodney Sullins is your top 6 as the green flag comes out. Well, good start by Finley.
Finley's had a couple of really good starts, yeah.
Getting them things timed down pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Plus he's on that high side groove. Now he's getting out there a bit, like you really don't want to. They both did actually.
Yeah,
got nobody right behind him. Wolf's coming in tight right behind Finley. Got Rodney Sullins pushing him, Kelly Kaza, Ken Roberts, some of the who's of Superspeedway racing.
Them both getting a launch like that. Oh, Wolf and Sullins are going around Finley. Kazi might. Well, it's up. Kazi's got lots of room to choose. Looks like he might go low.
Finley's going to get down there
and
get in behind
front of him. Yeah.
Now what's going to happen is they're going to go up to the high side. Kind of put Kelly Kaza out there 3rd. Oh, there he goes. Now he's able to sneak in behind Finley on that 2nd groove. The guy that was leading this thing is currently back there in the 7th position. Just, didn't get a good start, didn't get the help he needed right off.
It's crazy how fast that can change, eh?
Yes. That can change in a hurry. Especially, we're down almost to 22 laps to go. Can they make it? It's going to be really, really, really close. I'm sure there's going to be a a pit stop somewhere in there, and if it goes green the rest of the way, which will probably, for the most part, will be just a gas and go, just enough gas to get through and get back out there and go. Kelly Kaza's hanging tight on that high side.
Let's see.
Guys behind him.
Last week, Kelly went from what happened here. Yeah, he was in second going into last week's race and actually ended up coming out of that race in 10th. So he needs a good finish here tonight to get some of those points back that he lost last week. Actually, I don't even think he was here last week, was he?
I can tell you that in a minute.
Yeah, I don't believe he started.
There was no Kelly Kaza last week.
Yeah, okay, so he went from second down to 10th with a DNF, or a DNS, I guess.
Didn't stop.
Or a DNQ, or whatever you want to call it. Did not show up. A DNSU. It's a new Tarnation TV term. The DNSU did not show up.
Mm-hmm. I buy that.
Yep. I buy that for $1. Trying to start that high line again. There's Paglia.
Still have 12.
In the back, and now he's, right here again, 5th position.
Still have 12 cars out there running. Unfortunately, as he's getting ready to be put down a lap down, Dennis McCarthy's still out there. He's just about to go a lap down to the field, running by himself with a damaged car. It's not going to be fun for him, but if he's committed to doing the points race, he's doing what he's got to do to try to maximize it. Now, he may not make any more points, but hey, another accident happens. Somebody has to rate. Ooh, if Edneyer's around, bunch more get involved in this one.
Oh, Robert's sliding down the wall on his side.
Oh boy, he is. He's scratching up that Mountain Dew can. Oh, Finley did a wicked drift at the end of that spin. That was kind of cool.
Robert's find his way back.
He landed on his wheel.
Yeah. Oh my.
Didn't see what started that. I was kind of watching something else, but
yeah, we're gonna see a bumper hook. We're gonna have to look at it from above here because we can't really see it in slow motion. You'll see the 28 and the 80 are following each other through the tri-oval, and the 80 just gets hooked off the bumper of the 28. I mean,
it's hard to.
It's one of those things, that'll work every other time, but if there's a little bit of an internet hop, synchronized. It's spooky how synchronized that actually looked, the way those cars were spinning. And then we've got the view from Ken Roberts.
Good news is that will give Dennis McCarthy a lap back. He'll be the lucky dog. And, they'll get him out there and he kind of started nowhere near the draft. So we don't know whether he really had a car that was that far off or, he just didn't have any drafting help. But after we gets through this, he gets his lap back, gets some tires on that thing, and we'll see what he's got.
By himself, he was running about only 168 mile an hour from what I was seeing. So
probably
he's about 15 mile an hour under what he should be. But you know what? With engine damage like that, the engine eventually will fail. So a yellow flag at slower RPM or lower RPM at slower speed, that'll help prolong the engine life on that thing.
Yeah, that's the other advantage of an open setup. I've had times where, we've had a situation happen, like especially if you lost fourth gear. You go in, you take all the tape off. Okay. And you just let that thing sing in third gear. And, it'll prolong the life of the motor for a while.
Yeah, letting all the air in. Make sure to join us here next weekend. On the 3rd of August at 7:30, we go live. Green flags will fly about 8:10 or so. The ASR Superspeedway Series, presented by Bryant Motorsports and Fluid Studios. And then
a couple days, going at it.
A couple days after that, we're starting back up with Maverick. Maverick Cup Series resumes in August. August 5th is a Tuesday night, 8:30. We'll be right here at Tarnation TV. We will be headed to Rockingham with Maverick. So, yeah, next Tuesday we're back with Maverick. Ben takes most of July off. He runs the Daytona race, and that's about it. So, we'll see you next Tuesday. We start that again.
Interesting to see how they all deal with that, because that's a tire eater. Big time tire eater. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on the setup, it's probably going to be, maybe a little snug, and that'll burn that right front on if you are just too aggressive with it.
Maybe it's just me, but those are cool races.
Oh, yeah.
I love that stuff. You're always wondering how hard somebody's driving the car, when you see they start, and then tires go flat. We've had that happen on tracks like that before. They blow them out.
Just looking to see. Brian Otto stayed out, but he'd already led a lap before. So he's got another lap led.
Yep. Yeah, showing Brad Otto right now, the 47 car in first. We're focused on him right now, actually.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious to see if I thought he had got one in there earlier. He might just be, I think he might have a little damage. I'm not sure. So he might be just out there, figured I'll lead another lap, get back in there, get everything changed and ready to go. See what he can do at the end of this.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to show everybody right now by pulling down there. He doesn't want to be in the way.
Unless he'd had a end along this line penalty? He's the only one that didn't pit, so he wouldn't.
That's curious. Yeah, he might be pitting now.
He's running out of fuel. He hasn't done too many pit stops compared to what everybody else has done.
Yeah, he's only gone down there 4 times. So it should be enough, though. I can't see him having a fuel issue. So McCarthy is up there on the far right by the wall in that UPS car because he's going to be the lucky dog. So he'll get to go around when those lights go out. Looks like Otto and Causey, they will be going to the pits.
So Otto does have an end along this line penalty. He's posted that he had one.
Okay.
So, but he came in front of Kelly Casa and Ken Roberts, which that could get him a black flag.
Oh. Getting in front of cars and not being in the spot you're supposed to be in.
Right, unless he, was where he was supposed to be.
Okay.
You could incur a black flag by doing that.
Well, we will watch our GNL TV statistics, see if it flags him with a black.
Ken Roberts took fuel only. Kaza, I think, might have taken the right side tires. Let me take a look.
Rod just left the booth. He's on his way down to the pits because we are not in radio communication with that team. That'd be funny to see the broadcaster running across the track. Yep. Did you guys take like 4? Like you took, just 2. Okay, cool. And then run back up.
Back across the track.
Yeah.
He
Infinite technology, and we don't know Morse code.
He did take 4 tires.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure if he was one of the ones that involved in that last little episode, but spun out around it all. You might as well put 4 new fresh tires on it.
Yep. Yeah, especially under yellow. Why not, right? It can't hurt.
Pace car lights are still on. Dennis McCarthy's up there, so as soon as he gets to start-finish line, you'll see him go by pace car and go around and try to catch up in the back of the pack so that he'll get his lap back. We'll have 12 cars on the lead lap. And a 16 laps, so we know everybody can make it on fuel from here.
Yeah.
Unless you got a fuel leak. I've seen that happen.
That would be cool if that was a thing in here.
It is. You can get a fuel leak.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've never seen that.
You got to get in a pile up that's in the back of it pretty bad. Doesn't happen very often. You come in, you pit, you get 20 gallons of fuel, you go back out, and next thing you know, you're like, where'd all my fuel go? Oh, it runs out. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you go back in, pit, get some more gas. Dennis McCarthy gets out there and goes around. Rodney Sullins up front. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I've played this thing since day one. I've never had that happen.
Oh, I have.
No way. Well, I learn something new every day about my favorite simulator.
I can't tell you how many laps I've logged in this game, but I've had a lot. Just about everything happen to me. It can happen.
Wow, so you're talking major rear end damage. Maybe it's more of a realistic damage thing. Because a lot of these leagues run moderate. I've never experienced it, but that's really cool. Yep. So you see, like, it just does, your mileage is going. Like, what happened on the gas, you know?
Oh, the fuel mileage just start dropping and dropping. And you're just like, what in the world is going on?
So if you go in and fill up again, does it just leak the rest of the night?
It just keeps leaking out.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy.
That's cool.
It doesn't happen very often, but I've seen it.
I've never seen it. I can't even remember. I don't even know the amount of hours I put into this. I've never had that happen. Or maybe it did and I just didn't notice.
Right.
Because I don't know. I've never seen it.
Rodney Sullins is going to be the leader. The pace car lights are off. They're coming through three, I believe, right now. Going to have Chuck T on the outside, Brian Rosson in third. Brian Wolf is going to be out there in the fourth position. Jax is going to be fifth. Ed Finley is going to be in the sixth. Then you've got Mike Mangialardi, Mark Paglia, Ken Roberts, Kelly Kaza, and then Brad Otto rounding up the field. Wow, I say rounding up the field. Here comes Dennis. He just caught up to the field.
Yeah. Rodney chooses to stay on the low line with Rawson and Jax behind him. Chuck T on that top line with Wolf and Finley behind him. Ken Roberts goes around. That probably won't bring out a yellow because it was into the grass.
What happened to him?
Looks like McCarthy. Looks like he went off the nose of McCarthy.
Just checking that out. Oh, there was an accordion effect. Mangialardi tried to give Jax a little bit of a shot to get him going. That went through all the way back to Ken Roberts, and then Dennis McCarthy had no way to get out of that, and it all came right into.
Yep, that's unfortunate for Ken. He's way out of the draft now.
Yeah. McCarthy is way off the pace. Mike Mangialardi's already gone by him and just gone. Kind of set our Jax back a little bit. It's currently in the 8th position. Won't know exactly how far back yet till he might be close enough to catch the draft, but it'd be really close.
Yeah, I can see. I know 7 cars for sure are still in that main pack. It might be 8 with Jax at the tail end, but
if they run side by side, he might have the opportunity, but
it doesn't. Yeah, he's very, very on the edge right there. Let's see how fast he's pulling. He's still pulling at 190, so he's still in the draft according to the speed limit.
Got to be within 1 second.
Yeah,
I'd say he's not. He's gonna. I mean, he's probably getting a slight whiff of it, but I don't think he's going to get enough to where he's going to get him back up there with them guys.
No. At that distance, I think he's going to start to fade now.
Yeah.
But this front pack consists of Rodney Sullins, Brian Rawson, Chuck T, Brian Wolf, Ed Finley, and Mark Paglia. Kelly Causey's right there too. He might be backing up a little bit trying to get Jax, but I doubt it.
Now, this is where it gets interesting. You don't have very many people up there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's who do you want to help? Who do you want to go with?
Or hey, maybe they're all content just staying where they're staying, man. Maybe they just want to.
I think Brian Wolf, you see him try to make a move, but we still got, about 11 laps to go. So it's, he's just trying to feel him out a little bit. But I think you'll see Brian. I mean, as long as he can stay up near that front, that's a fairly decent points night for him.
Yeah, and he does lead the standings, so
yeah,
he doesn't need to win. I mean, like I said, he always want to win, and it helps Pad. Yeah, so he's going to want to grab a few spots, but I don't know if he'll be pushing the envelope that far.
Like Pagula tried to go to the high side, Brian didn't go with him. So as you get down to, where I'm getting closer to around 11, 10 laps to go, you unfortunately, it sucks to do it that way, but somebody goes like that, you may just say, nope, thank you, and take that position. That's one more spot. That's more points for you.
And this is a good show here for Sullins after last week, leading the most laps, but actually losing fourth gear and forced to retire. Right back up here.
He's led the most laps so far tonight, too.
Yep. Yeah, Palmer was the only one close, and Palmer retired 18, 19 laps ago. He had 11 laps led. And nobody will really be able to catch Sullins on the lap lead, so...
Now, if you're Chuck T and you're Ed Finley, now they're both good racers. They do really, really good. Brian Wolf got a wicked run there and tried to go to the high side. Paglia went with him. I just don't think they're going to be able to do anything up there.
No.
Unless they get some people to go. Now, Chuck T and Ed Finley, I don't, all of the other guys I've raced enough with, I know, how they race and what they do. Yes, I've done a few races over here at ASR with you, and I've seen a little bit of how they run, but don't know what their mindset's going to be to when they get down near the end of this. What are their plans, See what Brian's plans are.
Yeah, these guys can hang, but we're also not 100% familiar with what what they might do late in the race.
They've had great races this year, but neither one of them have won or dominated near the front. And I don't, like I said, I've raced with Rodney Sullins, Brian Rasan, Brian Wolf a little bit, and Mark Paglia plenty. I know what them guys are capable of.
Big push from Brian Wolf there to Finley. Transfers through to, I almost said McCarthy, to Chuck T. There's McCarthy there.
Yeah. Still going. Hey, give him props.
McCarthy's lap down, but
hasn't made up any positions since the incident happened, as far as positions. But you never know. We still got, very few, but we still got laps to go, so anything can happen.
Yeah, just like last week when you had Sullins lose a gear. It doesn't necessarily even need to be an accident. You could have a guy lose a gear, retire right now, and you'll pass him for points.
How you get Brian keeps poking out there. Chuck does a little, but I think he's just trying to get himself lined up. I don't know where Chuck and where Ed Finley are right off. Let me check that out.
Right now, Brian Wolf looking to the bottom with Paglia, trying to get something going down there. I can't see that working unless somebody slides out in front of them. Like if Chuck T and Ed Finley both went down, that Brian and Mark would follow.
So, looking at the points, Ed Finley, he's down around 19.
Okay.
Chuck T is in second in points. So, what's that tell you? If you're Chuck T, where are you right now? You're ahead of the points leader.
Yeah, you're just third. Yeah.
I think he's, unless something happens, I think you'll probably see him stay right there.
Yeah.
It's about 6 laps to go.
I mean, if he dips down there and Finley goes with him, Brian and Paglia are going with him because they're going to want to go by. They're going to want to railroad Ross and Sullins.
Think about it like this: if you're Brian Wolf, okay, you're kind of the only competition right now. I don't say only, but your closest competition in points is that guy that's in front of you. Him and Ed jump down to the bottom and go. You go with back up to the back of Brian Rosson. You just passed him. You padded your points lead a little more.
Yeah.
Just speculating. We don't know what's going through their minds and how they're going about it. But
now Ken Roberts in that green car just went a lap down. He's not damaged. I'm surprised they didn't try to pick him up.
He was on his roof or on his side sliding for quite a bit.
Yeah, but there was no real hard impact though. Like he got flipped over, but he was just kind of sliding, right?
Yeah.
I think he may have been all right for damage in the draft, maybe. Either way, they didn't pick him up, so it's not really a thing.
Yeah. Now, if you're Brian Rosson, do you want to go for that win? He hasn't won yet this year.
Yeah, but neither has Sullins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the only one out of this group that's won so far this year is Brian Wolf's. So.
Yeah,
as long as they don't let
Sullins is going to want to win because of what happened last week. Like he almost should have won last week with all the dominating show that he put on there, but then having that transmission drop out.
Keep seeing Ed Finley dropping down there trying to get Chuck to go, but
it's all about timing too, right? Because if they go there now and they make the pass, cool. There's still 4 laps left.
Right.
That's a long time because then the guys you just passed will just do the same thing you just did and just get the spots back. So it's like you got to wait till the 11th hour to make this happen. If they have a plan, if the plan's going to work.
The other part of that too, though, is what are Brian Wolf and Mac Paglia going to do? So that can change what they do. Obviously, we see Brian keep trying to, get them to go up there. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's more of like you just said there. He's trying to maybe call to those guys like, "We'll go with you," because they're not making any passes, doing what they're doing. They're just hopping out, looking, tucking back, hopping out, looking, tucking back, saying, "Hey guys, tuck out. 4 of us can drive by 2 of these guys."
They keep doing it on the high side. I don't know why they don't go to the bottom.
Some lap traffic coming up, a little bit scattered here. They'll probably stay to the high side. That'll be Brad Otto, Mike Mangialardi, McCarthy.
Now, if Mangialardi could catch up to him, probably, I don't think he's going to get there in time. He may be able to catch up to him. Depends. He might be able to. There they go. Now they're going to the bottom.
Yeah, they've tried it a couple times. It doesn't work because that middle line's so strong.
Right. Got to get people to go with them. Almost looking for just 2 to go now. Going to get that white flag next time by. It almost is like Chuck's just like, hey, I got, good position. I mean, speculating here, but I guess he's thinking on this last lap, making a Hail Mary charge.
Yeah, you can see there on the screen, the white flag is up. So at the line, we will be entering our final lap.
Look down there. Nobody went down. Brian Wolf's going to start trying that high side. I think he's just trying to bait him.
Yeah. They go up and he goes down and takes their spot. Yeah. That could be a move. But if they go with them, I mean, they can walk by those guys, but I think they're going to run out of time now.
Yeah, now that we're on the last lap.
Yeah.
They got to do something.
They got to do it right now, yeah.
Okay. Ed Finley decided to go up. Chuck T's going down to the bottom now.
Is Paglia going to go, or is he going to stay?
That's what I'm wondering, where Paglia is going. If he goes to the bottom.
With all that, it looks like the positions will not change.
I don't know.
Actually, you know what?
Finley's
Wolf,
he's going to
Yeah.
get Finley.
Wolf might get Finley, and Paglia might get Finley as well. No, I think it's Wolf, Finley, Paglia. Yeah. Oh no, Paglia got him. Paglia got 5th.
Yeah.
And Finley got 6th. He did get him. So on the last lap,
They have
Finley.
Chuck T. It's going to be Rodney Sullins, Brian Wasson, and Chuck T. is going to be your top 3 finishers.
Great run to the finish, though, man. We didn't know what was going to happen, and nothing crazy really happened. Nice, solid finish, and good for Sullins too. After dominating last week's race, but losing 4th. Taking that checkered flag for a ride for the infield.
Matt Paglia is going to end up in the 5th spot. Brian Wolf in the 4th. Chuck T 3rd. Brian Wasson, and then Rodney Sullins. So the good points day for Chuck T and Brian Wolf. Angel Argy is got 9th, and he was our 3rd place in points. Dennis McCarthy obviously not having the day he wanted to, but at least he finished the race. He should still be pretty good.
Yeah, great race. If people were able to avoid those yellows, because they were big, problematic yellows there, causing some major damage.
Let's see if we can find Chuck T, get him up here, and see if we can have a word with him. Chuck T got Rod Weston and Blaine Donnelly up on the roof. He got us?
Hey, good evening, guys.
Hey, not bad. We were talking a little bit about you. I can't say I was talking bad about you. Just didn't know you well enough to what you were going to do. Then I go look at the points, and I said, boy, this boy's 2nd in points tonight. And now coming into this race, I said, that's pretty darn good. And you kind of figured you might stay where you were, but at the last lap, you made a little last-ditch effort. But earlier on the night, you were running with the top guys all night, just not, out in the front position. You were kind of just hanging in there, logging off laps. Tell us a little bit more about your night.
I got a little bit of damage on that backstretch incident earlier, and it just wasn't quite up to speed. But it could stay in the draft pretty good.
Yeah.
So, man, what a great series.
So you were
Having
basically
all kind of fun on this thing.
You were just basically kind of biding your time. You knew you had damage, and you just top 3 finishes. Nothing wrong with that. As soon as you see Brian Wolf coming, you're like, well, I can't let him get ahead of me.
Oh, man, he kept diving inside of me all night tonight. I never had a talk with him.
So let's
Every time I turned around, he was making me 3 wide. In the middle. It was fun race, though.
Oh, yeah. Other than that earlier incident, you kept it pretty clean. And like I said, I mean, finishing 3rd place, I was kind of hoping you'd go a little bit further with that, but I didn't realize you had as much damage as you would. But, all in all, you cannot complain about your night.
Yeah, I gave it a shot there on the last lap coming off of 4, but just didn't have enough help and a little bit of damage. I was still happy to get 3rd out of it, so it was fun.
Yeah, and that keeps you right there in the hunt for the points.
Yeah, racing these Aero 88s, and we're doing the old point system, it's more of a points race than anything.
Yeah.
That's what I've been trying to do this series, is just run for points.
Yeah, and then you finish the best you can and let the points fall where they fall. And you have an opportunity to get out there and lead a lap, you do it. And, if just depending on how the night goes, you just try to finish the best you can.
Yeah, I got lucky on that green flag pit stop where they all, I guess they all wrecked going down pit road. And I'd been saving gas, so I could have made another 2 laps.
That's good.
So that worked out for me and seemed to be my lucky night.
I'm glad to see you had a great race and you're still right there in the points. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to thank the people that got you here, and we'll.
Definitely thank Brian Wolf and all you guys, man. Y'all do a real good job up in the booth. I think I talked to one of you last week after the race was over, and y'all doing a great job, man. And Brian's doing a great job officiating this thing, and all the admin are really, it's hard to race and be an admin too, and they're doing a good job with it. So I guess we're getting ready.
What's that?
Getting ready to get out and go do the race reviews. So
All right. Well,
Oh, no
There's no
rest.
rest.
Hey, you're done the race. You do the interview. They're dragging you into the review booth already.
I volunteered for it.
Oh, there you go. That's your fault then, eh?
Yeah, I'd like to see what's going on.
Right on, man. Well, yeah, that was a great race, and I was gonna chime in on the points thing as well. How it is just strategy. We're wondering like, is Chuck gonna run for that? Try to pass, or just kind of stay content at where you are because it's such a short season and the points are so tight. You're better off like, yeah, I'm in third. Why not just why try to get to first and maybe fall back to fifth? Like, just stay in third.
Yeah, like I said, I had a little bit of damage too, so I really couldn't do too much.
all right. Well, there's our third place finisher tonight, Chuck T. I don't know what the last name is.
Taylor,
It is Taylor, yeah.
Okay, Taylor. Okay. Well,
like the old
congratulations.
Converse. You remember the old Converse, you'll remember me.
Oh, there you go. So, congratulations on your third place finish, and keeping yourself up in the points. Good luck to the rest of the season.
Thank you guys very much, and thank you for putting this on. This is just a blast to be a part of.
I'm glad you like it, man. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, we finally get this guy up in the booth because I know we keep butchering his name for a while, but the second place finisher tonight, he started tonight 15th in points. So I don't know if he's made all the races and whatnot, but he's been running pretty good all when I've been here to see him doing it. Our second place finisher, Brian Rasson. Am I saying that right, Brian?
Some people say Russin, but it's actually Rawson.
Awesome. Okay.
So I'm right.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
Well,
now.
you got to get corrected sometimes to make sure that we get that right. So I don't know how many races you had made this season so far. Look up our results, but
I missed the first one. I've been here, I guess, the last three.
yep. So you missed the first one. That kind of kills you in the fact of points. So you're just in here having a good time with the boys.
Yes, sir.
I've raced with you plenty, and in different leagues, different stuff, and a lot of it into the super speedways. You're always a pretty good competitor at these tracks.
These kind of races, man, it's just staying out of trouble, I guess. But sometimes it's hard to do, but, if you can stay out of trouble, you can get there at the end.
Absolutely. So you're going to run the rest of the season and then try to catch up with the next one when it comes around and try to go for the championship?
That's the plan. Hope so.
Man of few words. I like him. Wayne, do you have anything for Ryan?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just, again, I'm behind the scenes
I know
here
what you
running all the stats and stuff. But yeah, man, awesome race. It's always good to see what you guys are doing out here. I can't remember what I was going to say. Yeah, I was plugging the stats into. I was going to check to see how many races he ran, but he already answered that question. But yeah, with the short season, if you miss one race, I mean, you can still get back into it though. Like, I mean, because there's enough guys here to keep it tight. But then this week was a little bit of a shorter field, so you can kind of make your climb back up. And if you are a little bit out of the points, you can crawl your way back in there. If you're able to make all the races.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's just trying to get good finishes when you have the opportunities. But, I think on my BSR teammates and everybody puts this stuff on, blaming you guys. And it's a blast, man. I'm glad we have a Sunday series to race now. And congrats to Rodney, man. He deserved it.
Yeah, and you keep it up. I mean, I'm looking at the kind of the standings right now.
Yeah, you came into this race in 15th too, right?
Coastal wasn't here. Rodney, John Godfrey went out early. You're gonna get yourself up there a little bit. Simonic went out, so it should help you out. Maybe I think the goal just try to shoot for the top 10, and then if you can get to that, shoot for a little higher.
Oh, yes, sir. Y'all take care, man. God bless. Appreciate it, everybody.
All right. There you go. Our second place finisher.
One second before you toss him out here. Do you have your own YouTube channel?
Do I?
Yes.
No, but I think I need to start one.
Okay, I was going to say, because there's a bunch of guys that race, and then I kind of stumble across some live feeds sometimes, and I can't remember because the screen names on YouTube are different from the screen names in the game. But yeah, there's a few guys. I think Rogers is one of the guys who like streams while he races, and I can't keep track of all of it. But yeah, yeah, I've raced with you in a few different leagues too, and called a bunch of races with you in it. So it's always fun to have you guys out here doing this, man. Like I said too, there's a lot of options on Sundays for you guys really to race anywhere. There's so many leagues operate on a Sunday, so to come here and elevate this broadcast, thank you very much for doing what you guys do. And this was another great race.
Hey, appreciate that, man. And I definitely don't have a YouTube. I'm not a very IT kind of guy. I got to go to Rodney or Ken Roberts for my IT expertise.
Right. Just enough IT to get the wheel on the desk and play NASCAR 2003.
Yes, sir.
That's all that matters. Thanks, man. We won't hold you up anymore, man. Congratulations on the podium finish.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it, guys.
I'll talk to you next week. All right, so you JB welded the transmission together, or is this a different transmission, or did we fire that transmission guy, get a new transmission guy? What happened?
I brought in last year's Nova.
Ah, that's why. Okay, that makes sense in the earlier part with the little paint scheme issues.
Yeah, I raced at RTG Wednesday night in the Aero Series, and I switched to my Wrangler car. And then right as I was getting on, when I went to grab the car that I knew you guys had, I grabbed the 2024 Nova instead of the new one. So I apologize for that, but glad I got it over to you just in time.
Yep.
Led the most laps again tonight, 27. You didn't, have the dominance that for as much as you did the week before. I mean, you lost some of your help. We kind of predicted what you and Craig Palmer were going to do a little bit off and on, and then he had some issues and you lost him. But all in all, 27 laps led. You had a lot better result than last week for sure.
Yeah, obviously the transmission took me out of last week's race, so that hurt. Had a really fun race going last week until that happened. Tonight, many of my burnt screwdrivers teammates kind of had some issues. I know John went out and Palmer went out. McCarthy had some problems. Ken, just Kelly, you name it. I think Mark had a straight car, and Rawson, I think, had some damage. So several of the guys that I'm used to racing around and teammates and stuff had some issues. So I guess I got lucky.
Looking at the points, you come in here 13th in points. Quite a few cars in front of you. You beat or finished better than. But you still had Brian Wolf and Chuck T right there behind you, which those are guys first and second in points. So this should actually help get you up here in the top 10. I think pretty close to the top 5.
Yeah, I've had. I've missed one race. I had a transmission issue last week, and then I believe I got wrecked out in one. So it's been kind of a tough going. But this should help me a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be a threat for the championship, but that wasn't a goal when I set out here. My plan was to get out here and help Brian get his thing going and just have some fun on a Sunday night with some buddies. That was really my goal. And if the championship was to be an option as we get close to the end, then that would have been a bonus. But I'm just out here to have a little fun, and race with some friends.
You keep winning. I mean, that's a chance that, you never know. You got Brian Rawson and Chuck T have not a great, not as good as of a night. You got an opportunity to, make up some more points on them. And you got to keep that thought. You might have that possibility of getting that championship.
Well, I'm definitely going to get out there and try. I'm not just going to, play around. I know, a couple of weeks ago, me and Kelly just kind of decided to stay there and work with Brian and see if we could get him a checkered flag, and that was fun. I enjoyed it. But I guess, if it does start, looking like I could make a run at it, I'll give it a shot. But, right now it's just want to have a good time, relax and and race and turn some laps at Talladega. It's always a blast.
Yeah, you guys and your lovingness for Talladega, I'll never understand. I just don't.
Hey, man, that's a great race.
It's a great race. I love calling them up in the booth because I just cannot stand racing them.
There was some big wrecks tonight too, man. Like, so they took a lot of guys out. You know, like the wrecks. I think last week there was a couple of wrecks, but they were just sort of. But there was a couple of big ones here, and even the smaller ones, big hits. Like McCarthy just hooks into the wall, and the hit that he took was crazy. You know, it's like, wow. You know, sometimes the accidents, you know, might need new tires. Today was a catastrophic damage.
Yeah, there was several cars riding around. I know you could see some damage on their roofs and their rear bumpers all caved in and stuff like that. So there's, and you know, let's be honest, that last run there, there was only probably 2 or 3 of the cars that were in there that were straight. I didn't have any damage. And I'm driving through there with Brian behind me, and I know at times I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, he's not even catching me. And I'm pulling away from him, and I'm just, you know, tonight was we're not going to call any win an easy win, but it was a lot less stressful than I anticipated, because when they went too wide behind me, I just kind of pulled away. And you know, I think my biggest threats were Paglia and Brian Wolf, because I think they were the only other 2 cars that maybe didn't have any damage, and they were, unfortunately for them, they got kind of stuck in the back and couldn't get anywhere by themselves, so that worked out for me. But I think you know, a few people having damage behind me sure helped.
Absolutely. Blaine, you got any more you want to ask there, Mr. Solomon?
Yeah, I'm just looking at these other stats, like 20 lead changes with 12 drivers involved. Like, it's, you know, even with 16 cars started tonight, and it still ends up being a really good race, you know. And there's only, well, now we're going into the last, we're in the last 3 races now. It's only an 8-race season, so it's crunch time now. You got to get those, you know, again, this week you led the most laps again this week. You just were more fortunate to actually finish it this week.
Yeah, that's always a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and you're soaking up a lot of bonus points. Like even last week, not getting a good finish position. I mean, those lead lap points, bonus points on that is still help.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's been fun. You know, like I say, I've enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to going back and watching this. I know it's going to be good.
Yeah, and looking at the stats, like Rod was saying before, you came in 13th, but the cars above you, like Randy didn't even show up tonight. McCarthy took some crazy damage. Simonic retired. You know, there's some big movement to be had there, and you know, with 3 races left, anything can happen.
Oh, that's a fact. There ain't no doubt about that. That's what we call Superspeedway racing, right?
Yep. Right down to the last lap.
Oh yeah, last lap you can go from 1st to 15th, or you can be like me last week and everything's hunky-dory, and all of a sudden your transmission shells, and you know, your race is over. So anything can happen.
Did you make a mistake and shift weird and break that gear, or did it just leave?
It just quit. I was riding around under caution, you know, clutching and, you know, just saving some fuel, and shifted into 3rd, 2nd, something like that, and then back up into 4th. And when I went to 4th, there was nothing there.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, go to 4th, and it doesn't exist. Fun.
And there's a lot of gears you can do without here, but 4th is not one of them.
No.
4th would be about the only one you want. If you're going to burn all of them out, even reverse, you got to have 4th.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, man, yeah, congratulations on your win. The transmission held together, so we're going into race number 6 next week. So that should be fun. You able to make it?
I should be here. As of right now, looks like I should be here.
Awesome, dude. Well, yeah, congratulations again, and
give you the floor to let you thank anybody that got you here.
That's the stuff.
Yeah, Tim 4. Thank you. Obviously, Tarnation TV, Blaine, Rod. Really looking forward to going back and watching this one. I thank you guys for what you do. Blaine, you do a great job with your promotions and videos and graphics and everything. It's just,
Thanks, buddy.
It's a really great show you put on, man.
Thank you.
And you guys do a great job together. Obviously, I want to thank ASR, this Super Speedway series that Brian Wolf is putting on. I don't know who all his admins are. Some of the guys that race here. I know Ken Roberts is helping him, so thanks to him. I heard him clearing flags and stuff tonight. So I obviously want to thank my Brian Rawson for just staying with me that last run. And I felt pretty good with him behind me that things were going to work out, especially when it started mixing up. I thought, he'd be there to help, and he was. Obviously my Burt Screwdriver's teammates, I mentioned them a little earlier. Thanks to all those guys. Nothing without them. Black Rifle Coffee, Cabana Brisa, Wickers. Dad, I hope you enjoyed that. Love you. Finally got you a checkered flag. I think this is the first one that you've been able to watch. Hope you enjoyed it. Blaine, Rod, appreciate you fellas.
All right.
Right on, man. Yeah. Sandra Sullins was on the YouTube chat. Said he told the 38 told that 38 driver to put Elmer's glue in the transmission this week. So,
yeah. Sandra is my
that's your dad.
My stepmom's. Yeah, that's my stepmom. It's her account, but my dad's Alton. That's his name. He goes by Alton or Al. Just so you know. So if you ever want to chat with him, I'm sure he'll chat back with you.
Cool. Yeah, I guess I knew that was him this week. So he's glue that transmission together. It seemed to work. Good old Elmer's goes a long way.
Yeah, I just squeezed it right off in that transmission tube, and it ran right in there and held it together.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that's great. You got people interacting with the channel and stuff. That's always fun.
Yeah, we watched Monday night. Monday night we were at Indy over at RTG, and I finished second. Grant Wesley beat me, phenomenal driver. He had 4 tires, I had 2. Don't know if it'd have made a difference if I had 4, but I did finish second to him. And then Wednesday night wasn't broadcast. I won that race. And then Thursday night was a decent race. I think I finished in the top 10.
Nice.
But it's been a pretty good week. But I think this is the first time he's got to see me win one, so I'm glad it happened. Glad you guys are here.
That's awesome.
That's great. That's a good week, man. Yeah. Congratulations on the win and congratulations on that week. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good week. Can't complain. My worst finish has been 7th in the past 7 days.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, man. That's good. That's good. Well, good luck next week then, because we got another whole pile of racing apparently before we see you back here on Sunday.
Right back here at Talladega. Yeah, Rod, Talladega is, and that's where I used to go, me and my family, my dad and my brother and a whole bunch of people. Ken Roberts went with us one year. We'd have about 20, 30 people all go to Talladega. We'd go to the fall race.
Nice.
Talladega, Daytona has always been my favorite races to watch. I just love super speedway racing. That 200-mile-an-hour chess match, I think they used to call it. But I've always liked watching it live on TV, and then of course I just kind of enjoy really playing it on NR.
Yeah.
I've been to Daytona. I've never been to Talladega. So.
Yeah, Daytona's fun. Been there too in July when they used to run it in July in the day. Golly.
I was down there for a whole Speed Weeks one year.
Oh, that's nice. Hadn't done that yet. I'd like to do that. So
all day at Daytona, then go grab a bite to eat. All night at New Smyrna. Get up, go back to Daytona, go back down to the New Smyrna.
That's nice, man.
That was
a lot of fun.
Was.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're gonna get him out of here. Congratulations on your win. And that transmission holding together, and we'll hopefully get a chance to interview you again next week with another win and get yourself up there in that point.
Hey, that'd be great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Mr. Sullivan's on his way.
Yeah. That was a pretty good. I thought a little more cautions we usually have, which is kind of sucked, but all in all, I thought it was a great race.
Yeah, we had 4 tonight, so it wasn't a record or anything, but yeah, it was the cautions that did happen. Man, there was some hard hits and some crazy damage, and the big one happened. Actually, the big one was the first caution, and it involved a lot of cars, but not a lot of real crazy damage. But like the rest of the time, man, wow, we saw some big hits and cars up in the fence. But you know what? You're looking at the stat sheet right there. Rodney, Brian, and Chuck made it to the podium. So Brian Wolf right there in fourth. Paglia, Finley, Causey, Jax, Mangialardi, Roberts, McCarthy, Otto, Shalinsky, Palmer, Simonik, and Godfrey. The 16 guys that were able to make it out here this evening. So thanks to all those guys.
Started
Thanks to everybody
16.
who's watching. Sorry?
Started 16, finished 12. So we only lost 4 cars out of there. And Dennis McCarthy, by staying out, was able to beat Brad Otto for the 11th position. So he gained some points by staying out there and running all night.
Yes, he did. Yes. Yeah, good point. Yeah, who had the biggest hop here? It's like Paglia and Wolf both went from 15th and 16th to 4th and 5th. Rawson actually started in 13th and went all the way up to 2nd place, so that's a pretty good finish for him.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Brian Wolf, qualifying, Brian Wolf, like you said, 15th, Paglia 16th, Kelly Caza was in 17th. They didn't take a time. Those are the last the drivers that didn't take a time. Of course, you got you in there and me in there, but we don't count.
Yep. Yeah, Palmer, I forgot about. Yeah, bad luck for Palmer. Some wheel damage. Pole position, finished, out of the race, retired in 14th. But hey, there's always next week. So, yeah, man, you got any final words before we wrap this up?
I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping I get home in time next week. It was a great race. I love calling these races for ASR. They, good core group of guys. It's a lot of fun. Looking forward to it next week if I get home in time.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it'll be cool if you can make it. If not, we'll figure it out. But yeah, join us right here next week at 7:30, and then next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but the 5th, August 5th, Tuesday, we go back to Maverick Cup. So they still have one more week off, and then we resume racing at Rockingham with them. But first, we'll see you here next Sunday, 7:30 sharp, and we go live. Race number 6 of 8 here at the ASR Superspeedway Series. Again, thanks to the drivers, thanks to Bryant Motorsports Auto Sales, Fluid Studios, all the viewers, ASR, of course, and Rod Weston.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.